early reviews are in on the new trade deal announced with the European Union. The Financial Times says the deal marks a victory for Trump.
We've just heard the US and the EU agree to a framework deal, which they're touting as successful. But if we really look into the details, do we have a reason to celebrate just yet?
Well, if you are the American energy industry, definitely.
Well, the bottom line is this is the biggest trade deal in President Trump's effort to effectively reshape the global trading order.
On this deal, the European Union, this is a big win for the U.S.
I'm really excited to catch a glimpse of the President of the United States. I think I really admire what he does for the US. He really is backing and standing up for his people and what's right for his country. So I only hope our Prime Minister could take a little bit of advice or inspiration from him.
And we're just super excited to get a glimpse of him today, and we'd be even more excited to get to meet him.
I've traveled to Scotland from Germany in order to record President Trump's motorcades. So far I've been to Turnberry a few days ago, and now I'm here in Aberdeen.
Ever since there's been the fake Russia hoax, the assassination attempt from last year, all the kangaroo court hearings, all of these things, they've just made me double down on the man himself, the resilience that he has as a character.
We're all Trump supporters. A lot of the media reports that all Scotland hates Trump, and not the case.
You remember in that interview when he was asked before the election, they asked President Trump, how do you plan on bringing a country that hasn't been this divided since 1861, the Civil War? And Trump's answer was, you know what? I think success is going to unite them. I don't think I can force them to like me. I don't think they ever will like me. But if they see results, if they see money in their pocket, if they see that their communities are protected, if they see that criminals are off the street, if they see that we're getting wealthier, that the golden era of America is coming, and we're seeing all these results, the unification may happen. He was right about everything, literally right about everything. I'm going to share with you a clip of Bill Maher, demented, deranged. This guy has gone on. If there's anybody in media who has attacked Trump more than Bill Maher, you'd be hard pressed to find them. He has been a part of that cabal, the propagandist machine. And it's just amazing to watch him squirm and uncomfortably come to the conclusion, to the self-admission that he was wrong. It is a beautiful thing to watch. I truly believe that President Trump will go down in history as one of the greatest, definitely the greatest in my lifetime, if not one of the greatest presidents in the history of our country. He has been working at breakneck speed, ludicrous speed, to be quite frankly, probably faster than any president in history, right? You're absolutely right, Mr. President. We love you. And I have a question for you. After all the accomplishments, I mean, look at this. European Union, the biggest trade deal, $750 billion in energy, $600 billion additional invested in U.S., 0% tariffs on most U.S. exports, 15% tariffs on EU imports. You had a ripe vegetable in chief. 12 of the last 16 years, this abysmal anti-American communist party called the Hippocrats, aka the Democrats, they couldn't get this achieved in 16 years, let alone 6 months. I mean, this guy has revolutionized the American dream. He has put into place executive orders, mandates, legislation that has absolutely transformed the country. Here's my question to you. Before I play for you the Bill Maher, I just have one question to ask you. Do you think that if there was room on Mount Rushmore, which I think there is, if there was room on Mount Rushmore, would you say yay or nay to President Trump being on Mount Rushmore? Let me know in the comments. Just say yay or nay in the comments right now. By the way, the White House staff, Caroline Leavitt, all the departments, the intelligence department, Secretary of State, their staffers, their people, they watch this show. So let them know loud and clear where you stand, America. This is your chance to get your voice heard. Leave a comment. We had John Fetterman just recently, who is more and more acting like more of somebody who's more of a centrist, if anything, if not a full-blown Republican, just came out and said he supports ICE and what they're doing, getting criminals, getting gangs, getting RAPIsts and murderers, etc., off the streets. You have a lot of people who are finally realizing, holy mackerel, This guy is really, really doing an amazing job. And maybe, just maybe, I've been buying into the propagandist media too much. I just watched this amazing documentary, one of my favorite artists of all time, Billy Joel. Let me know if you watched this documentary on HBO. And I posted this on his page because I wanted him to know the truth. About an hour in, it's such an amazing documentary too. About an hour into the documentary, much to my chagrin, much to my profound disappointment, Billy Joel mentions that he was super angry about Trump. The Charlottesville, there's good people on both sides, hoax that he fell for. And he said he was angry about it and he was upset. So he was attacking Trump in this documentary. I immediately turned it off and I went to his X account and I posted the actual factual edited video where he didn't say there was both people on both sides. He condemned the white supremacists. He condemned the Nazi sympathizers. I don't know if he saw it or not. He probably didn't. But my point is, the reason I'm saying this is that I truly believe it's happening slower than I'd like, but this channel is helping. More and more Americans, which is the goal of this channel, make common sense viral. More and more Americans are coming to the realization they've been duped. Watch this.
I remember along with probably most people, was saying at the beginning, oh, you know, by the 4th of July, somebody had to think how the country was, the economy was going to be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me, but that didn't happen. Now, it could happen tomorrow. I'm just saying that's reality. So let's work first from the reality of that, not from I just hate Donald Trump. Because that's boring and doesn't get us anywhere and leads you to dishonesty. Because the truth is, I don't know what his strategy is. But look, the stock market is at record highs. I know not everybody lives by the stock market, but I also drive around. I don't see a country in a depression at all. I see people out there just living their lives. And I would have thought, and I got to own it, that these tariffs were going to fucking sink this economy by this time, and they didn't. So, you know, how do we deal with that fact? Because that's the fact.
Well, Bill, I'll tell you how you do it. You wake up and you realize you've been absolutely fooled. You do a little critical thinking. You do a little critical discernment. You do a little bit of your own research, and you stop doing crap like this. This abysmal party has the lowest approval rating in the history of the party, perhaps in the history of politics. In the last 35 plus years, it's never been this low. And this is how they're reacting to it. Look at this. Look at these ridiculous people sitting outside an MS-13 hearing of a gang member who has caused injurious mortal harm to Americans, and this is who they're fighting for. And then you wonder why their approval rating is absolute garbage. And you stop doing this too. We have a bill that was to defund Planned Parenthood. 22 House members passed the bill. 50 senators passed the bill. President Trump signed the bill into law, and you have a Democrat Obama-appointed judge, Talwani, who's overruling and blocking Trump from carrying out the will of the American people. This is what you stop doing. This is what you stop nurturing. This is what you stop supporting. Oh, but wait, it gets even worse. Speaking of defunding ridiculous entities that are anti-American and perpetuate leftist communist propaganda, NPR did a quick interview with disgraced former Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg, who now wants to run for president, by the way. Here's 2 short clips, which I think is symbolic of the demise of this ridiculous, radical, anti-American party. He's asked about Zoran Mamdani in this first clip. Listen to what he says.
I was talking the other day to a Democratic member of Congress representing part of New York City who said to me, essentially what you're saying, Mamdani in many ways is the future. He knew how to campaign. He's doing everything right. There's a lot to learn from him. And this lawmaker said, I haven't endorsed him yet because I have a lot of Orthodox Jews in my district. What do you make of that contradiction?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of distinguishing between tactics and ideology. And I would say, you know, he's further left than I am. But also, I think that what he's been able to do is something that our party ought to learn from.
What they ought to do is the party ought to learn from what Zohran Mamdani is doing. This is the guy who wants to take over the means of production, defund the police, give away everything for free. He wants to create, literally, he's admitted, I am a socialist, and he wants to create a communist state. This is Bolshevik ideologies that have no place in the United States of America, especially after what happened last year in the elections. The American people, their voices were resoundingly clear. We do not want this. This is, again, this party is so absolutely lost. This is why I don't say this for me. I say this for my kids, my grandkids' grandkids. I don't want you to tap the thumbs up and share this video and watch the whole thing for me. I'm going to be dead and gone sooner than later. This is for the future of our country. I feel compelled by God. This is my purpose. This is what God put me on earth to do. I've been an educator. I've been a business owner my entire life. I've worked public sector, private sector. This is my purpose: to educate, to share, to make sure that people get the truth about what's happening in our country, so our country doesn't experience an incredibly awful, violent downfall, which is what these people are headed towards. Here's Pete Buttigieg right here when asked about Biden's cognitive ability. And didn't you notice anything before that debate? Watch his answer.
You never had a moment before that famous presidential debate where you worried about whether he was all there?
There were moments where I thought, he's looking tired today, or where I noticed that he was aging. But there was never a moment where I thought, this decision, this policy, or this process is going worse or is wrong because of the fact that he's old.
There isn't an authentic, honest bone within the entire marrow of the anatomy of this atrocious, antithetical to American values and principles party. They can't tell the truth. They all get on board with whatever is handed down to them by Obama, the cabal, the Holly weirdos, the billionaire Soros establishment, the deep state. They have no individuality. They never think for themselves. Now you've got Letitia Big Shame James saying that her and all these attorney generals are going to sue Trump because he's going after immigrants, which is just an outright false lie. It's really just comes down to one thing, amongst the many other things that I've talked about on this channel. You're breaking the law if you're here illegally. We welcome all immigrants. Just do it through the right systems and processes through port of entry. Period. Do it legally. It is an insult to the people who have built this country, created this country, innovated for this country. One of them comes to mind, Elon Musk, one of the greatest innovators ever. It's an insult to the immigrants who did it the right way. You would think just one of these guys in this intrepid, ridiculous party would come right out and say this, but no. They've been handed down their orders, and like obedient minions, they will carry them out. Zero questions asked. What Pete Buttigieg said either reflects gross incompetence, gross negligence, or gross ignorance. Probably all the above. We can never, my fellow Americans, my fellow global citizens, we can never let them have power ever again. Tap the thumbs up. Let people know what you think in the comments down below. Even if you're watching on TV, you can do it with your remote. Make sure you do that, please. I would really appreciate it. Your country, freedom, democracy would really appreciate it. If you missed these videos, check out these videos right here. You can tap them or click over on them on your remote right now and watch them. We just posted them. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a thing. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless these United States and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.